Peace, family. Welcome to another episode. This your host, Brother Rich, a.k.a. Father Rich, a.k.a. Black Magic with the red pill. Welcome back, my brother.
Peace to the gods. Peace to the fam.
Yeah, indeed. Listen, we right before the so-called holidays. Everybody everybody about to indulge in Thanksgiving.
About that time, y'all.
You know what I'm saying? It's the clock is ticking. Everybody thinking about some sweet potato pie and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I just want
getting whipped up.
Shout out to everybody during the season that's going to spend time with their family. On a serious note, it's always great to be with family, and don't let nobody deny you from your family. It's good to be with the family. You know. So it is what it is. Shout out to y'all.
Let them see you shining. Why not?
Yeah, indeed.
Make a special appearance.
Yeah, indeed. You know what I'm saying? Spread some of that wisdom if they open to it. If not, don't be judgmental. Let people grow at their own pace. We all evolve at a different time, right, Red?
We all do. Don't go there with the neck bones of truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't get your truth stuck in your neck. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
When the student is ready, the teacher shall
appear. The teacher will appear, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't summon Socrates at the dinner table if he wasn't summoned.
Yo, he said summon. Yo, Red is a funny dude. Summon Socrates. You a funny dude. Listen, with that being said, Red, I'm wondering. All right, so I listen a lot and I study people and I study. I'm a student of life.
That's fact.
I study everything, and that's pretty much that's why I come up with so many questions, and that's how I move in life.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out. We got this movie. You was telling me so much about this movie. You talked briefly about it on my channel, but you had a more extensive video. If anybody want to see the whole video, on Know the Ledge on your YouTube channel.
Yes, Know the Ledge Media. I did Joker, not decoded. Like I didn't do it. I just did a Joker breakdown.
Indeed, KT never did a Joker decoder, right?
Yeah, KT didn't touch on Joker yet.
I'm gonna talk to him. Yeah. But anyway, you did a great job letting me know what the movie was about at that time. I seen others follow up and had reviews on the Jokers. I seen Tariq Nasheed did something on the Joker.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was great. And I just recently found out that it hit $1 billion in the box office. Yeah. And why this is different, it hits different, is because it's an R-rated movie.
That's facts. The first time
the Billy Boy Club, that's usually G-rated or whatever PG-13. This is R-rated. So this means you really had to go. It really needed a certain amount of adults to go there for it to hit that mark, that Billy mark.
That's facts.
What I'm trying to figure out, a character as sick, as demented as the Joker, as sinister, as diabolical, as they say, as the Joker, what makes the Joker so interesting to American society, Red Pill?
Well, many things about the Joker resonate with the average 9-to-5, blue-collar, white-collar, red-blooded American. And you also have to remember, on top of being relatable to the quote-unquote Joker, the way that this origin story was crafted, the way that this Joker story was adapted, because keep in mind, this was a standalone movie. This was not in the realms of what you would consider to be a comic book movie, all right? This was a standalone movie, and it was basically shot by, it was supposed to be Scorsese on board. He was on board in the beginning, henceforth why so many of his tropes are in the movie. You see Taxi Driver, you see King of Comedy. Okay. You also see De Niro, who was in both movies, reprising the role that Jerry Lewis played as the impression, what's my dude, Johnny Carson knockoff, right? Okay. So the way that this movie was filmed, this origin story was it was very relatable, not from the standpoint of a superhero or a supervillain for that point, but from the standpoint of an everyday guy, a white American who goes through a mental breakdown based off of being a societal failure or based off of society failing him. Now, our president, Donald Trump, right, is basically being backed by a silent majority who made themselves known, who made their voices heard, and they made their numbers to be counted when they basically voted for him, even though he didn't win what they considered a popular vote.
Right.
Yeah. When I looked at the map, the shit was redder than, you know what I'm saying? it was redder than a YG concert. So obviously these white males, ages from early 20s going into their late 60s, they've voiced an opinion of their roles in society today. And many of them are voicing their opinions, or they're voicing their frustrations by saying that they feel that society has failed them. And as a result of that, we have an increase in both mass murder shootings. There was just a report that was put out last week about the mass murderers, one of the most detailed reports to this day. And it had four elements of, they had 100 different variables, and the majority of mass shooters fell under four different elements.
What was that?
The first one was childhood trauma. Okay?
Childhood trauma.
Childhood trauma.
Everybody got that though, right?
Nah, what I'm saying is the majority of these mass murderers did it. They all experience the same thing that many of us have experienced. Some people lose the fight to those demons, or to the pain, or to the or to what happened, the altar. The altar, because trauma creates altars. Especially when you traumatize a child, that creates the altar. The alter ego takes over, right? The alter ego could become a manic depressive. I think it was Sister, what's her name? Madam Butterfly?
Right.
I'm trying to remember her new moniker. She said that sexual abuse creates alter egos. They break the quote unquote, that's that movie Shattered, and the other movie that M. Night did where he talked about the dude split. You know what I mean? When these children, or when babies, or when women and men, even regardless of the age, but especially during the quote unquote childhood development stages, when they're assaulted and when they're molested and when they're traumatized, they create shatters in their quote unquote ego. They create altars. So then you have multiple personalities. She said that sexual abuse creates bipolarism in people and whatnot. This is her research. So in this case of the Joker, he experienced childhood trauma. He was tied to a radiator and abused by his stepfather, and there was hints of sexual abuse, right? Of molestation and whatnot. He resonated with a group of people. So this is one of the signs of these mass murderers. It's not like a whole bunch of them got into what they got into and they didn't go through these things. Another one of the elements that they saw was, trying to remember all of the elements.
You said there was 6.
There were 4.
There was 4,
right?
sorry,
There were 4. So I'll get into all of the 4 in a minute. But what the report was showing is that there's a familiar pattern. We see patterns. There's a thread that many people who are descending into a life of crime, into a life of drug addiction, into a life of prostitution, into a life of pimping, into a life of sex trafficking, all of these things, there seems to be a pattern that's steering these people in its direction. It has to do with the home, right? There's something going on in the home. Somebody is missing. You know what I'm talking about? Or when both parents are present, there's a sort of dysfunction that's affecting the mentality and the development of the brain of these children and whatnot. So they also were saying that, so when you're dealing with America and where it's at right now, with these white men and their quote unquote animosity towards themselves, because what we're witnessing is what was already prophesied and spoken of and broken down by master teachers such as Dr. Frances Cress Welsing when she spoke about white inferiority complex, white fragility, and how it masquerades itself as white supremacy, and how it basically will fold in on itself and eat itself. And as you see the politics of the world and what's going on around the world, the browning of the world, the browning of America, the browning of Europe, you understand? And what is the rallying cry of these European men and they ladies too? That you will not replace us.
That's what Brixton is about?
Huh?
That's what Brixton is about?
No.
That's something, okay.
Yeah, that's something different. You will not replace us. All of these cries, the 14 words, all of these cries where they're out here rallying behind these dog whistles, but we could hear the shit too. we know that they're dealing with their inferiority complexes. You got the suicide rates of white men are skyrocketing. The suicide rates of white women skyrocketing. The drug uses, the opiate overdoses and usage of that skyrocketing. Pill popping skyrocketing. Mass murder skyrocketing. All of this dysfunction going on. This is the falling of America that was spoken of. So in this character, in this figure of Arthur, what's my dude? Arthur Fleck, right? A Jew, mind you, right? They're showing you that this person he's relatable to a large segment of society, because a large segment of society is identifying with his character. And not only if they're not identifying with the character as the anti-hero, he's still relatable because they made his story relatable by taking it outside the realm of, you know, quote unquote fantasy or the Joker comic book mind state, right? Like how we saw Jack Nicholson and other people, Heath Ledger, and they removed Batman in a sense, humanized them, and then they put him into this place where they were redoing Bernard Getz, right? Right?
Yeah.
They were redoing these movies that we already saw, like King of Comedy, like Taxi Driver. It was already there. So it was in the backdrop of being right there in the Bronx, those stairs that all of us is familiar with, the way that they were able to cast New York. We was just outside. We was about to do the segment in the streets. This shit is Gotham right now.
Crazy.
It's right before Thanksgiving.
It's too crazy, bro.
Yo, it's Gotham in the streets. It looks like the first scene of the Joker. We might do a walkthrough after this. Literally. With all of the fiends laid out, the construction, the noise, the police.
We are.
So, you know, that with people who are like, yo, I remember New York like that. Like, they made him very relatable. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't help, and it doesn't hurt that Joaquin Phoenix, Scorpio, did a very excellent job in his depiction, the way that he embodied the character. He bodied the character. You know what I mean? And there's another DC movie that hit $1 billion, and I wasn't aware of that as well. That's Aquaman. Yeah, the Aquaman and Joker is neck and neck. So, you know, it shows that it's not just a anti-hero type of thing that people are running to the theaters to support. Like they going to see dudes swimming and whatnot.
But what I want to know, besides because you brought in the race element, why are black people gravitating toward the Joker? Black
people gravitating towards the Joker more so for the aspect of the villain trope, the anti-hero. You know what I'm talking about? Like, we love the anti-hero.
Why is that?
We love the villain.
Why is that?
There's many reasons. You know what I'm saying? We love the darkness along with the light. You know, we're into characters that deal with the darker energy and the ones with the lighter energy. You know, the quote-unquote blaxploitation era primed us for the anti-hero. Who the fuck was Goldie? You know what I'm talking about? Who was Tony Montana? You understand? Who are these characters? These are the anti-heroes. These are people that are still relatable regardless of the lengths that they had to go through to get it how they live and whatnot. And then came hip-hop. And the whole basis on hip-hop is built on an anti-hero. Ain't nobody running around like Captain America in the game. The only nigga getting away with his Chance the Rapper. You know what I'm talking about? And he even has to sprinkle some ratchetness in his shit sometimes. But we go for things like that. So I'm not saying that the aspect of the Joker is something that, and it's not to say that black people can't relate to that shit either. I'm not taking away from the fact that there's a contingency of our people that got their things that they going through. Black mental health is on the rise, but like I said, the hype. Remember, that movie was hyped in ways that other movies were not hyped. Oh, they got extra security. Oh, these people said that they were going to do this. Oh, da-da-da-da-da. And then when it started having black, people wait and see if any incidents is going to pop off, but the only news that you're going to feed them is success. Yo, it broke records. Yo, it did this. Yo, it did that. So people start word of mouthing, and then they're going to go watch the movie.
Indeed. Um, in terms of the Joker, and in terms of how we behave, do you think that everybody has a bit of the Joker within them, and we just won't admit it? Do you think that's something that we all, you know how they say everybody has a dark side? Is that is the Joker the dark side that they say we all have? So that's pretty much all of mankind right there, the Joker? That dark side of us?
I can't make such a general statement and say overall that's all of us, because that's not necessarily, that wouldn't necessarily be the truth. But we all have a shadow self. We all have a dark night. We all have a lower aspect of ourselves. We all have an evil Superman. Remember Superman and evil Superman 3?
Quick question, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think everybody in their life has for a second thought about killing somebody?
Yes, I do think so.
Okay.
Especially if they are carnivores.
Okay, all right, go ahead. Continue. I just want to ask it. Yeah.
The society that we all exist in, the cesspool, the ocean that we're all swimming in. Red, I don't watch TV no more, but you be on the internet all day. You know what I'm saying? Red, I don't do the internet all day, but you in the streets all day. It's surrounding us. Society, the quote unquote jokers, right? The people with the joker's mindset who control media. You know what I'm saying? The people with the Joker mindset that control government. The people with the Joker mindset that control social engineering. Remember, these are sociopaths. These are maniacs. You understand? These are maniacs. The people, the men who came and created the studios in Hollywood, that is responsible for colonizing the imagination of the world, not just America, because that shit started getting exported, right? They help craft and they help shape and they help design and they help to terraform an image of America that was not true. It was a fantasy.
That theta.
You know what I mean? And they introduced fantasy reality into, real REEL versus REAL. And as a result of that, about 50 years later in the society that we find ourselves in, and keep in mind, media is not only the movies, it's not only Hollywood. We're talking about your textbooks in school. We're talking about the magazines that you read. We're talking about the newspapers that we read. We're speaking about publications and things of that nature. I'm talking about cartoons. I'm speaking about commercials. I'm talking about all forms of media, right? And I'm also speaking about religion, control religion, that is. Not the religion, the good time religion, control religion. And I'm speaking about control mass miseducation that was planned to miseducate people, along with a whole bunch of other stuff. The way that we have ourselves in society now, who can escape that? Like the fish that's swimming in the septic tank, are you to tell me that fish is 100% healthy? Everything surrounding it is polluted. The water's polluted. The air, everything has a form of this social. It has a sprinkle of some Joker mentality in it. That's why I compared the Joker, the analogy to what I saw in the Joker movie, to them speaking about the Hollywood executives who basically came together and formed reality through Hollywood, through that Hollywood. You know what I mean?
Peace, family. So we're gonna go on this little mini tour of the city. We ain't got them right now, and we want to just show y'all the backdrop of the city, all right? And talk about a few things as we do that. Let's go.
Respect conversation. But this is a black Mecca, bro.
Oh, of course.
Huh?
A lot of black history is in this place here.
Indeed, King.
Do bear that in mind.
Of
a lot
course.
of black individual strugglers. Like the Garvites. You know what I mean?
Look,
yes.
Garvites. You know what I mean?
The Garvey.
Yeah. Don't forget Marcus Garvey.
He right
stand right here. Malcolm X, stand right here. Twame Corey, stand
Kwame
right
Ture.
here.
That's right.
Don't forget the history, bro.
That's right.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, my brother.
All right,
Thank you.
listen up.
Yes,
Tommy
yes.
Johnson, the bad boy,
The bad boy.
gangster.
That's right.
You know what I mean? He's standing right here.
That's
Don't
right,
forget,
King.
This is a black Mecca, boy.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful how we can film and get and somebody could walk up to us and drop that. That's beautiful.
Right, yeah, man. Be right on point.
Ah,
This is Harlem.
That's right.
thank you, my brother. But, so give us a tour, Red.
So
Let us-
we got the walls over there. Look at all of that artwork. You know what I
See
mean? Yeah, that's a new installation. The beautification of the area, showcasing all of the wonderful talent that exists out here. You know, this building, 1 bedrooms is going for 3 racks.
3 racks.
Yeah, right
This
here.
on 2/5. 1 bedroom. Say that again. 1 bedroom, 3 racks.
3 racks. A new building
On 2/5.
in the middle of it all.
So Red, why do they call this part of Harlem? They say this is like the Thriller video, Michael Jackson Thriller video.
Well-
and that reminds people of the Joker movie, because that's what we're talking about.
Fact.
What's going on with this part of Harlem that reminds people of Gotham, Batman?
I would say it would have to be the drugs, you know. Anybody that's been
Come
watching
walk over.
Godfather Harlem with Big Bumpy in them with the doogie,
Guess what? We won't have to wrap it.
right? Bumpy in the doogie. You still see the rim. Come on, you still see the remnants of all of that. You still see the fallout from both the crack age, but definitely the heroin. You know, they basically crippled Harlem, Brooklyn, BX, New York, B-More, and many other places around, you know, Black America. It was a plague and it spread. And now we have a pill epidemic, an opiate epidemic, a heroin epidemic. You know what I mean? The continuation of that, because it's encased into the quote-unquote culture. It's part of the culture. It's being enforced and it's being funded by multi-billion-dollar corporations. But your baby don't know who Garvey is. You feel me? They scared to talk about Elijah. They scared to talk about Malcolm X. But they know who Rich Porter and Alpo is. They know who everybody else is. You know what I'm talking about? So this is Metro North Station, you know what I mean? Connecting upstate New York, the suburbs, to New York City. And the first stop is in Harlem. So every morning, this is almost done deliberately. The trains let out and all of these people are coming from the suburbs. And they take a beeline to either train station, the 2 train or the 4 train. But they're led off into a sea of dysfunction. And keep in mind, these are lawyers going to work, these are doctors, these are teachers of your babies going to work, all kind of people that are injected in society. But their morning Joe or their coffee is, you know, sludging through all of the dope fiends and the quote-unquote crackheads and whatnot that they conveniently put right here.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
We about to get into this interview real quick.
Huh?
Yes.
Hey.